sleeping well.
You're doing time.
Doing the time of my life.
This beat is so sloppy.
What's up, everybody? Zach here with the NerdCave. Hope everyone is doing well tonight. Let us know how you are down in the comments. It's Thursday. I got me an elf cookie, guys. I'm sure you've seen these before. It's like a wafer kind of cookie. It's got chocolate in the middle. Nice little crunch. Absolutely delicious. I totally forgot about them. And then saw them in the store, let's say like 2 months ago. Man, they're so good. Here's the little crunch for y'all. Don't know if y'all heard that or not. Guys, let us know how you're doing down in the comments below. Hope you're doing well today. We're going to be covering all the nerdy news that you need to know. We are doing it sans Derek tonight. Work, unfortunately, held him back. I told him, don't worry about it. I got it covered, bro. So it's going to be a good night. But want to know how you're doing. How was your Thursday? Yeah. People didn't like show up to work. I don't know how people can get away with like just not showing up to work. So like Derek was like having to cover shifts. Like 3 people didn't show up or whatever. So I don't know. It just stinks. Joe, what's up? What's up, my man? I got the new Assassin's Creed. I've been seeing some things. It looks good. And got approved for your new apartment. Let's go, man. That's exciting, bro. I am so happy for you. I know you are a huge Assassin's Creed fan, but I'm pretty sure the apartment's probably a little bit bigger, but a bigger deal. But I'm glad for you, man. Congrats on the approval. One step closer, man. One step closer to the things you want, man. I just give God the praise for that, bro. So excited to see some pics in the Discord, the inside of the pad, and then your thoughts on the Assassin's Creed game. Curious to see what you think about that as well. Sorry, I left my computer charger today. Oh man, it was not fun because I had to keep like bugging somebody for their charger. I got it the first time, but I was like exporting a ton of videos, so like my computer was like burning through electricity. Welcome, Jess. Hope y'all are doing well at the Philippian household. But like halfway, like closer to the end of work, I had like 5%, and I was like, I feel like I'm Bernie Sanders here, but I have come to you once again asking for your charger. But yeah, I had totally forgot about it being plugged in and everything. So, you know, it's those things you don't think about, and then you're like, oh, there you go. Guys, I hope everyone's doing well tonight. We got a good show for y'all. We're talking about, can y'all guess? Put it in chat. What do you think? I know you can see the title, but what do you think we're going to be talking about tonight? How many stories of the same ilk do you think we're going to be talking about tonight? And like, I look at the doc, y'all. Derek puts in a ton of work into the doc, but bro does not make it all the same font. He just like dumps it in there, and I'm just like, bruh, make it the same font. I have to do it every week. I'm like, I can't handle it. I cannot handle it without. Oh, it's like all these. Yes, more layoffs. More layoffs. It just seems to be the thing right now. Everybody's getting their balance sheets balanced by laying people off. video game news. Yeah, we're talking about some video game news for sure. One thing that I saw today, y'all, was Patreon is introducing some new things. One thing that's pretty neat and interesting is that they've introduced the let's just do this. Let me trying to get me over to where I need to be. Yeah, they changed their logo. I don't know if I can find myself or not. I do not see myself. But you can join essentially without like having to like being a paying member. Okay, there's so like the free like stuff that we put out, like posts or whatever, like you get to see, but they're introducing like chats and several different things within the thing, which I think is pretty interesting. So I'm going to be exploring that, but yeah, I like the chat feature. What's up, Cody? Hope you're doing well. And like, I feel like because of this, it's like focusing a little bit more on our Patreon and everything. What's up, Marilyn? But yeah, like I know we have Discord and everything, but like having it where people can like get all of our stuff. And this is something I need to be way better about, is like updating this, you know, getting the stuff out there and everything. So maybe this, having it where we're putting more stuff out and everything. Can I see this? Okay. Okay. So we can see it as a member. Maybe I can go to public. Yeah. So if you hit become member, I wonder, I have to look at this and see. I need to update it and everything, but I thought it was pretty interesting. They are doing a lot of updates and everything for it, and there is a new app coming out because their app has been in my opinion. But yeah, we're gonna explore and see what we can come up with. We might do some exclusive, like me and Derek has talked about, watching some of the Dragon Ball Z movies, doing One Piece. We might do it where it's exclusively on Patreon, and then not where it's like you have to pay for it, if that makes sense. Like you can, it would be like one of the join things, but it's like we would only like post the link on there just to get more people over to the Patreon. Trying to make it where it's more of a hub and everything. So I don't know. What do y'all think? Y'all let me know down in the comments what y'all think about that. But welcome in, everybody. How are y'all doing tonight? Hope everyone's doing well. We are Derek-less tonight. He's doing some urban hiking, y'all. So he's got a lot to take care of. He's got, you know, to hike all over the place because he is John Stevenson, urban hiker, living, loving life. Like living, loving life with no commas or commas in there. That's my question. They apparently sent out an email and there is a whole commerce feature. I don't know. You said, no, I didn't say that. But yeah, like there, like a lot of people you could give away like sell digital products. You can actually sell episodes as well. There's a lot of new features on there. You can sell like merch. So yeah, there are a lot of things that we could potentially do with Patreon. Not even necessarily like just trying to get more people there, just more people there to see what that ecosystem is and everything. Urban hiking, like a scar broke down. No, he like 3 people didn't show up for work, so he had to like stay over until they showed up, and it put him behind. And I just told him, don't worry about like, because he's still living in Troy, he's yet to move. But I just told him, I was like, don't worry about trying to rush home and make it happen. You know what I mean? It's like I want him safe. I want him safe. Guys, if you haven't already, smack the like button down there. You know where it is. Smack it. It helps us out a lot. And guys, I hope that y'all are doing fantastic tonight. Live, laugh, love. Eat, pray, love. All of those things. All of those things. But yeah, we're going to be talking about a lot of cool stuff tonight. And yeah, I'm excited to get into it. How this is going to work, everybody, is I'm going to do my best to discuss all the things. I'm going to read some articles, not all of it, but the boiled down points. I want your thoughts. I want your opinions, because we don't have a Derek here tonight. So I definitely need y'all to pitch in and make this the best show that we've possibly ever done. Okay? Make it the best show that we've possibly done. And the way you can do that is by interacting and commenting. If you have a thought on a story, don't wait until I get done with it. Start typing as soon as you have a thought. Let me know. That way, once I get to the discussion part, I can discuss your thoughts on it as well. Because that's one of my favorite parts. The reason why we do it live is actually to discuss things with y'all. That's why we do it live. That's like, I love the interactivity of the streams. So I appreciate everyone being here and being a part of it. Amy said, made roast chicken soup today, and I actually remembered how to make it. That's impressive. It's impressive because Amy will make something amazing. It'll be delicious. She won't know how to recreate it. Like she just she doesn't write down a recipe. She's just like a little bit of this, a little bit of that. She's just in there just making it happen, and then it's like, oh, this is delicious. Never eat that dish again. Never. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. Guys, thank y'all for crushing that like button. Let's go. Let's go. We've got I think we've got 6 or 7 stories. So it's going to be a good night, y'all. It's going to be a good night. Put some hype in the chat, y'all. Y'all put some hype in the chat. We're going to get this rolling. We're going to get this rolling. I feel like I need to put some more All Might sound effects on the board for us when we play Starfield, since we're playing as All Might in Starfield. Hoip, hoip. So guys, we are going to be jumping into the news here in just a second. I'm going to reintroduce it. That way we can cut it in post and everything, so it's a nice clean slate and get right into the news. So if you're new here, no frets, no worries. We're going to be jumping into that here in just a second. But I hope that y'all are ready for it. I hope y'all are looking forward to hearing all about the craziness that is going on in the gaming world, because guess what? That's all it is. We're getting amazing games, and then we're getting layoffs. That's literally feels like every week we talk about layoffs. All right. So here we go, guys. We're going to get into it in 3, 2, 1. This week in gaming, there are more developer shakeups, layoffs, and Jim Ryan is making developers uncomfortable. This is the NerdCave News, and I am your host, Zach Dykes. This episode is brought to you by the Epic Game Store, where you can support us by using creator code NerdCave at checkout on anything, free games, V-Bucks, all of those things. Every little bit goes towards us, and it's no extra charge to you, and it helps us out so much, guys. We really appreciate you going over to the Epic Game Store and doing that. Creator code NerdCave at checkout. And we're also brought to you by Coffee Brain Coffee and our wonderful patrons, but more about that later. Let's jump into the gaming discussion this week. Mediatonic reportedly devastated due to Epic's layoffs. In the wake of Epic's laying off 16% of its workforce, reports have now appeared that part of the layoff included a huge amount of the people at Mediatonic, the developers behind Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout. We all know Fall Guys, huge game, started at Evolver Digital. It took the world by storm. That was around the same time with Among Us and all of that. But it's crazy to see how this has happened. But today, however, it's a darker cloud than ever before over Mediatonic. Former director and writer at Mediatonic, who was hit by the layoffs, Ed Fear describes Mediatonic today as decimated. And man, it is crazy to see a game that has mass appeal. It might not be as popular as it was when it first launched and everything, but it was popular enough for Epic to want to buy it. And it goes back to show that when these companies start buying a lot of properties, Epic bought Mediatonic, which made, Fall Guys. They also got Rocket League. They've bought so many different companies, Bandcamp we talked about last week as well, that they get into this position where they've become bloated. They are not as agile as they were. And at the same time, they are still raking in money just year after year from just Fortnite, not including Rocket League, because Rocket League makes a handsome amount of money. But now we see Mediatonic getting just destroyed, just ripped apart. And I'm very curious to see how many people out of that 16%, which was like 800 developers, how many are getting laid off from Mediatonic? Are they pretty much gutting it to where it is not even going to function? Are we going to see more Fall Guys? Are we going to see new season content? Are we going to see them develop any more new maps or anything? If there's no one there, guess what? No one's going to make any more of the game. And it's sad because it's like they could have stayed independent. They could have not taken that big payday. And again, it's like higher ups make that decision. The developers don't make that decision, but the higher ups do. And they're the ones that either, get the big check or they get to stay there. But now it's decimated. Someone that worked there, however many people, is saying it is decimated. And that's sad. It's sad. And how is that money being spent in the company? Exactly. Like, is it being put into the company to revitalize it? Is it being shared within to develop people, to enrich their lives, or is it just going into someone's pocket? Because 9 times out of 10, it is going into a higher up's pocket. Someone that, well, I built this company, and it's like, well, you're seeing what your company is turning into. It's being absolutely destroyed right now. And I think we will find out more and more in the coming weeks. I even talked about this last week that Mediatonic is being hit by this, and now we're getting, more confirmation on that. And it's sad to see that this is a trend over all the games industry. It's not just Epic, but we've seen Embracer Group. The next story is literally about another one, and we have a big studio later on that, another big studio later on that has lost more jobs. It's just crazy. Cody says, I've been reading a lot of gaming companies are partnering and using AI to generate and design some portions of their game. These could potentially be people in those roles that could be streamlined by AI. Yeah, I know Ubisoft talked a lot about that in their Ubisoft Forward earlier this year, where they're using AI to write portions of dialogue and everything. And I use AI a lot. I will admit I use AI pretty much every day, several times a day. But it is not a tool that could replace me. And the reason I say that is, and I don't think AI can replace someone that is good at their job. AI is meant to be used to speed processes up. They're not meant to be things to replace humans, because AI can only go so far. From what I've experienced, AI can break down things, they can summarize things, it can write things to a certain degree, but it has to have the knowledge handed to them pretty much on a silver platter to be able to regurgitate it and restructure it. The AI use for editing is great with like multicam stuff, but it doesn't make it into a full cohesive piece of video. I have to go in and I have to really mold and shape things and make sure the cuts make sense and all of that. And that's the biggest thing here is like AI cannot replace a actual game developer or a writer. What's up, Tim? How's it going, my man? And yeah, to Amy's point, AI cannot replace creativity. It can only enhance it. It can be used as a tool. It is not the replacement. Because you look at like somebody that, when Mid-Journey, it's gotten so much better, but it's still that uncanny valley stuff. Like it doesn't look realistic. But to really be able to use that like in video and all of that, you've got to have somebody that can take it. I was watching an interview on the editing podcast. Great podcast, by the way. Highly suggested if you want to get into editing. But the guy that they interviewed this week, he was talking about how he uses Mid-Journey, but then he goes in and he does all of these effects to it to make it work within what he's doing. And it's only through a few shots that he would actually use AI and everything. But yeah, it's crazy to see like how many people are like, oh, AI is the way I'm going to be able to make money faster and all of this. And it's like, you got to have somebody to know how to harness its power and know when to go somewhere else. Like even with YouTube videos, like if you have video IQ, it will give you suggested titles for your videos, and they're not great. Like it'll give you a bunch of them, but they're not great. It's like you can have things write scripts and everything for you, but it's not going to be great. You've got to know when to mold and shape things. So I hate to see Mediatonic being decimated, as Ed Fear says here, but it's kind of par for the course right now that all of these companies, they want to continue to see these big historic growth months year over year over year and everything. And eventually there's a cap on that kind of stuff because one, not as many people are locked in their houses now. Like we are not, where we're staying home every day and we're watching TV or we're playing games or whatever. That's just not the fact anymore. It's not been that way for years now. And it's like you're not going to make the same amount of money when people are actually back to work. They're not buying the same kind of stuff because they're focusing on the day-to-day, plus inflation. We talked about that a lot last week. But it's like you've definitely got to, people up on the top, they're not in check with reality for sure. How has Starfield been? Starfield uses a lot of procedural generated stuff too. There are about 1,000 planets in it, but I've been enjoying Starfield a lot, Tim, 100%. And everybody give a shout out to Tim. He's been crushing it. He's been absolutely crushing it. He's been going plus ultra. Let's move into the second story. Team 17 reportedly to suffer major job losses with CEO set to depart. According to a report on Eurogamer, British publisher Team 17, best known for their work on the Worms franchise, which I've never been a huge fan of, but I know a lot of people like it, is set to suffer significant losses in the wake of a company restructure. In addition to the losses, which are believed to affect Team 17's internal quality assurance team, Michael Pattison, the CEO of the company, is expected to depart the publisher. Roughly 50 positions are at risk as a result of Team 17's restructuring process, with the company set to outsource QA work instead. Right now, it isn't known about the extent of the other departments within Team 17, and which are going to be affected by the restructuring. Earlier this year, the company's internal development team suffered layoffs, although at this time, staff were informed that no further losses were planned. And, with the CEO leaving and everything, it's like, who's going to helm the ship? With QA, it's like, yeah, you can have other people QA your work. You can have other people look at your work and everything. And it is a set of fresh eyes. I'm talking about, like, I QA a lot of stuff all the time. But when you really think about, like, QA, only you are going to notice all these little intricate details that you put in there and if they're working. And if we think back to Cyberpunk 2077's issues, is that they put a lot of the QA processes on an external team, and that external team had a process of, we have to submit this many bugs a day for us to meet the quota for us to be able to get paid. So what did they start doing? They started flooding CD Projekt Red with small, tiny, bite-size bugs and issues where they couldn't even focus on the larger issues. So when that game came out, it was utter trash. It was awful. It was just broken in all sense of the word. And that's the problem when you have a company do your QA work for you. They're not going to have the same heart for the project. They're not going to have the same get after it as you will when you QA your own project. And yes, there is, you might misspell something. Can I get a 5 in chat if someone's ever misspelled something on a project? I'll put 20 in the chat. But if you actually QA your own stuff, you're going to see a lot more of those mistakes that you have worked on. It's like, oh, well, that didn't work. I need to change this, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, they're trying to restructure. They laid off more people. 50 people, that's a lot. This is not a huge team. Like most, game development companies are about 150 people. There might even be smaller than that. There's indie developers and everything. So this stinks. Like, again, like, this is the last few weeks is just like, hey, this company's having layoffs. Hey, this company's having layoffs. It just feels like we're just constantly repeating that over and over and over. And it's not done because we got more and more that we're going to talk about. But before we do that, let's talk about some delicious coffee that you could use to perk yourself up and really work on that QA yourself. Are you quality assuring your own life? Well, you can do that by some exceptional quality coffee with no gimmicks and no politics. Customer satisfaction, there's nearly over 4,000 verified reviews, and most of those are 5 out of 5. 12 coffee blends, 12 organic teas, and 3 hot cocoa flavors. You got that cold brew? You like doing that? You like that pour over? You like doing that? They got that too. You want it easy? We can make it easy. They got K-Cups as well. Guys, you should go check this out. They've got their fall flavors out right now. They look delicious. Amy ordered some a while ago. She got the medium roast coffee. She loves it. She got the chai tea. She loves it. But they do have their current fall flavors out there with some pumpkin spice. They've got so many awesome things. So go check them out. One of the cool things that I like about Coffee Brand Coffee is as you order it, they're going to go roast it. It's not sitting in a bag ready. They roast it to order. So if you want the freshest coffee that you can possibly get without doing the beans themselves and like growing them and all of that, check out some Coffee Branded Coffee and elevate your coffee game. You can use code NerdCave at checkout or the link in the description below to get 5% off your order today. And we got the butterscotch, or talking about the butterscotch toffee is their new flavor. Yeah, they got that one. They've got a pumpkin spice one, and then I've got one other one. Cuddy says, funny story about misspelling. I used to make custom metal signs for a few years. Always panicked and triple checked all the words. Only messed up one. It was mine and Jess's anniversary sign for a sign about 4 foot wide. I left one of the eyes out of her out of Phillips. How do your old last name? Amy said, I understand the recession is affecting a lot, but why are we cutting employees first? Where else can financial cuts be made? Exactly. I think that is a huge thing where, people are trying to, what are our bottom line? And when your first instinct is to cut the employees, the people that do the job, the people that have made you successful, you're going to get into a position where you don't have anyone loyal to you. You're not going to have anybody that is willing to take the bullet to work hard for you. And, a lot of corporate, developers and just corporate jobs in general, they're going to work you to death. They're going to expect you to work 60, 70 hours and only pay you for 40 and wonder why aren't you working hard? And it's like, dude, I'm doing all that I can. You know what I mean? So like, it is a dog eat dog world right now, and it's kind of crazy. Amy said, Ari out of coffee is so good. All right, let's talk about some PlayStation news. And if you have a drink right now, guys, we're going to hydrate before we jump into some Jim Ryan shenanigans. Jim Ryan's pivot to live service games reportedly left PlayStation Studios teams feeling uncomfortable. Departing Sony Interactive Entertainment CEO and president Jim Ryan left many developers within PlayStation Studios uneasy with his pivot towards live service games. While Sony is well known for pushing out single-player blockbusters like Marvel's Spider-Man, Horizon Forbidden West, and, of course, Game of the Year, Game of the Decade, God of War, and God of War Ragnarok, Ryan pushed heavily for a games as service during his tenure, and it didn't go down too well with all involved. That's at least according to Bloomberg, which claims that the live service shift was an uncomfortable pivot for some companies under the PlayStation Studio umbrella. One of the major studios that Sony has under its belt is Bungie, the former Halo developer who is still supporting Destiny 2 and obviously has ample experience in live service games. Hence why Sony was so interested in snapping them up. Having said that, last October, PlayStation Worldwide Studios boss Herman Hulst assured fans that Sony isn't abandoning single-player games. Now, I think this is interesting because we are seeing Jim Ryan leave. We talked about that extensively last week. If you want to check out that episode, you can go check it out. It's on our profile and all that good stuff. But it makes a lot more sense that the direction of this was coming from Jim Ryan because he is a businessman. He is not like he's been part of PlayStation for 20, 30 years, but he is a businessman at heart. You can see that with all the decisions that he has made while he has been CEO and president. Moving towards the games as service, we've seen a lot of companies do this, trying to get that bandwagon of, okay, well, if we make it a live service game, then we can do season passes. We're not paying for more development costs, like exuberant amount of development costs, and we can just microtransaction the mess out of everybody. And you only get so many of these big games because of the mind share. There's only so many people that are willing to drop the time, one, into a game, and two, money. Okay, yes, You look at Clash of Clans. You got Clash of Clans. So many people play Clash of Clans. I know people that still play it to this day. You've got Bejeweled. You've got Candy Crush. You got all of these mobile games that make a ton of money, but they're not time sinks. You see, they're not taking up a ton of time. But when you think about Fortnite, you think about Warzone, Apex, those are longer games, where you're playing 30, 40 minutes through a whole game to be able to win and all that good stuff. With those, they've stood more of the test of time. Apex is kind of slipping a little bit more, but they have a mind share because they came in at a certain time and they've built their presence. You don't talk about PUBG at all, hardly any ever anymore. You don't talk about PUBG. And that was the gold standard of battle royales. Now, are all of these live service games going to be battle royales? No, not necessarily. But then we look at a game, a series like Halo. With Halo Infinite, they tried to do a live service. And I loved Halo Infinite when it first came out. It was great. It was a ton of fun to play with everybody. But as we saw it go on, there was less content. They had development issues, etc., etc. With PlayStation Studios here, they are not known for multiplayer games. The only multiplayer games Sony has ever put out are it was the PlayStation All-Stars, which was kind of like a Smash Brothers, and then they had Killzone, and those didn't do well, y'all. Let's just be honest. And then they had like a roller derby game or something they put out, and it died pretty quickly. Every time Sony is trying to go into the multiplayer scene, it is not done well. That's why they have really, when they focus on the single player games, they really enhanced who they were. And when the the development teams are like, we're uncomfortable doing this. We feel like this is a cash grab. We feel like this is going against what we normally do, what we want to do. And when you've got the CEO and president saying you're going to make live service games, then you feel uncomfortable. You feel like you're not heard. You feel like you are going against your better judgments. You're going against your inherent nature. And that stinks, but I'm glad, to Amy's point, bye-bye, Rah-Rah. I'm glad that Jim Ryan is leaving because we are going to be able to move towards what hopefully PlayStation is supposed to be because, as we talked before, 60% of PlayStation development has been put towards live service games. So I'm hoping we can right the ship. Hopefully we will not see more of that. To kind of go off of that just one quick second is Sega. We talked about it last week. Sega canceled its game called Hyenas, which was a live service game. It is the most money that they have ever spent in developing a game, and they canceled it because they didn't see that it was actually going to be successful in the market, and it had been in development for 6 years. And the issues that it had was poor leadership. They didn't know what game mechanics that they really wanted. It was unoriginal, and a lot of different things in that. Y'all can go look up articles on that. I think VGC has a really good article. But when you think about it, it's like that's what's going to happen to Sony if they keep pushing this stuff. Cody said, always feel like Sony does better on simulated life games, racing realism, etc. Xbox is definitely a better platform for PvP. Exactly. Xbox has always been way better at just shooters and playing against other people. Halo, Gears of War really come to mind. I've spent so many times playing those games, and Call of Duty used to be an Xbox first kind of platform and everything, but now it's not. But I'm really hoping that with Jim Ryan's departure, we will see a return to form, and hopefully whoever takes over that position full time, not interim, will not continue to push these policies just trying to chase the dollar when the thing that has brought them to the dance, which is story first games, will be the thing that takes them home. You know what I mean? It's not like what was it, 16 Candles? Should have went with Ducky. Should have been Ducky. Not that other dude. I don't remember the other dude's name, but it should have been Ducky. Put a 5 in chat if y'all agree with me. It should have been Ducky. If you don't put a 5, then you don't know what I'm talking about. Or you don't agree. Put a 7 if you don't agree. It should have been, what is the other dude's name? I don't remember the other dude's name. Blaine. God, that's a name. Blaine. Ugh. Everybody's like, why is that going on about 16 Candles and this dude named Ducky? Like, I've never even watched that movie. Justice for Ducky. Exactly. Pretty, is it Pretty in Pink? Is that a movie like 16 Candles? Pretty in Pink. That's the name of the movie, guys. I don't even think I've watched 16 Candles. I know I've watched Pretty in Pink. 16 Candles. Okay, it's still got Molly Ringwald. Yeah, okay. Have I don't think I watched that one. Yeah, I don't think I watched 16 Candles. All right. Anyway, let's move on, guys. Sony seemingly removes most traces of Star Wars KOTOR remake. Sony kicked off September 2021's PlayStation Showcase by formally revealing a rumored remake of the classic RPG, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, for the PlayStation 5. This was the last we heard of it, though, save for Bloomberg report the following year that stated the project was on an indefinite development hold as a result of major staff departures. Now, it seems Sony and PlayStation are removing most traces of the KOTOR remake, deleting tweets, and hiding the reveal trailer on its YouTube channel, as reported by Kotaku. Yesterday, on the Gaming Leaks and Rumors subreddit, user Tricolor Chudy posted that the 2020 PlayStation Showcase KOTOR remake reveal trailer had been recently delisted. That same day, Twitter user Crusader2 Eliser posted the same thing, noting, however, that the full 2021 PlayStation Showcase video that still had the remake trailer intact. With some more digging, Crusader found that PlayStation had seemingly deleted every tweet mentioned in the remake, save for one below that also mentions other games. Furthermore, with some Wayback Machine tinkering, they learned that a 2022 snapshot of the PlayStation Twitter showed that a different tweet exclusively about the KOTOR remake still existed, meaning its deletion happened between last year and now. Game Informer has reached out to Sony and PlayStation about the hidden trailer and deleted tweets, and will update the story as goes. As for speculation on why PlayStation might be doing this, it stems from remake developer Aspyr Media. Aspyr is owned by a new Embracer Group, which has been canceling games and closing studios in light of current restructuring program, aka we messed up and we don't have funding. After Embracer's Group was informed that one major strategic partnership that has been negotiated for 7 months will not materialize, or in other words, the collapse of a $2 billion deal, as reported by Video Games Chronicle, it implemented the restructuring program. Given all of that, it would be surprising if Aspyr, which Embracer Group acquired in 2021, was affected by the restructure. So here's the update. A spokesperson from Sony sent Kotaku a statement regarding the delisted Star Wars KOTOR reveal trailer, stating it was due to licensing issues. Here's what they said. As part of normal business, we delist assets with licensed music when the licenses expire. Curiously, this begs the question, why have the involved parties allowed the license associated with the music of KOTOR remake reveal trailer to expire? Game Informer will update the story if it learns more. So that is a lot to say. We're not getting a KOTOR remake. It sounded like another studio was going to pick this up, and it's not at this point. I remember the reveal trailer. It was exciting. It was like, wow, this is actually happening. Wasn't ever thinking that this is going to happen. And now we're not getting it. I would just despite Murdoch, I feel like KOTOR would be as likely, this remake would be as likely as getting Skull and Bones actually out in the wild and it lasting more than 2 weeks. With them taking things down and all of that, it's a clear sign that Aspire is not going to be making this game. They're not paying for the rights to keep those things up, because if you look at any other game that has come out from Sony, those trailers are still there. Those tweets are still there. Anything that doesn't come out, they're not going to keep that out there. And they aren't going to keep that kind of false hope or whatever you want to say. Sony is very corporate in that sense of everything. So it's sad, it stinks, but when Embracer Group grows too large and over, just like Epic, where they just keep eating and eating more development teams to grow as big as they were, and it looked impressive and everything. And then they're like, oh, we have to get $2 billion to be able to keep operating the way we want to. And it's like, probably should have managed that before it got to that point. Just saying. You're still sad about Ducky for NCIS. Didn't he pass away? I think that's right. I heard this is a TikTok thing, a little tangent. Ducky from NCIS made an album like when he was younger, and Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg sampled it in like one of their most famous songs, like da 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 da. It's the one and only Snoop double G, whatever. Snoop Dogg. Like the track that they sampled is from Ducky, his album. Just putting that out there. Just thought that was pretty cool. Guys, you thought the layoff talk was over, but we're going to talk about a little bit more layoff stuff. And I'm going to get to Cody's comment because I wanted to save a layoff comment until now. Naughty Dog is reportedly laying off dozens of contractors. According to a report on Kotaku, Naughty Dog, the Sony-owned studio responsible for The Last of Us, Uncharted, is laying off a number of staff at the Santa Monica-based developer. Two sources revealed that Naughty Dog communicated the layoffs internally last week, which have hit a number of departments at the company, including art and production, although it is believed the majority of the losses have been impacted its quality assurance testing. 25 developers were claimed to be part of the downsizing. The sources added that no severance pay has been offered to those who have been laid off, and that those affected and current staff have been pressured to keep a lid on the news. Reportedly, the staff contracts won't be terminated officially until the end of October, and they're expected to continue working through the rest of the month. Man, I'd be quiet quitting like nobody's business. Okay? Like, I'm going to just be honest with y'all. They dumb. Because if you fire somebody, you're laying them off. You should have them get their stuff and then walk out right then. Especially when it comes to like technology and all of that, because it's like, oh, you're letting me go. Well, I'm just gonna tank your game now. I'm gonna mess everything up, and that like that's the worst case scenario. But it's like, you're not even giving me severance, and you're wanting me to work through the rest of this month. I need to go find another job. I got a little bit more to go, but Naughty Dog is keeping quiet on its future projects right now beyond its multiplayer spinoff, The Last of Us, although that title is believed to have run into some problems. While back in June, it was reported resources have been diverted away from the game, Kotaku now reports that the project is basically on ice at this point. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I agree with Amy's comment. I understand if you're under contract, but that sucks. Yeah, it's like... Yeah. Again, I feel like we talked several times, me and Derek talked about how Naughty Dog kept getting bigger and bigger and how they're working on multiple projects. And now it's like it's untenable. It's a position where they cannot continue to do what they were doing because of rising costs of development, which we talked about last week. And now it's like, oh, well, we got to start pulling back, we got to start pulling back, all this kind of stuff. And then you see all these people getting laid off, not just at Naughty Dog, but Team 17, Embracer Group, so forth and so on. And now the game that live service game is now put on ice. Like, we probably will never see it. Like, it is so ridiculous that all of this is happening because of poor management. That's what it really comes down to, is poor management. Cody said, this is earlier. Oddly enough, an increase of unemployment is an indicator of inflation slowing. The goal by the government raising rates is to increase costs for businesses, and this causes job cuts. Dan says, man, the damage I could have done had I taken my layoff the wrong way. Exactly. In 2 weeks, you're going to realize I have not been here in about 2 weeks. Yeah. I would be like, why aren't you getting this done? And be like, you fired me. You're laying me off. Yeah. I'm totally going to just work 5 o'clock comes around. Guess who's walking out that door? Me. Who's taking a long lunch break? Me. Who suddenly developed IBS? Me. Like, I'm sitting on the John playing on TikTok on my time. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people can take it the wrong way and all of that. Some people are going to work hard and, think that it's going to save them or whatever. But it's, again, it comes back to poor management and overbloating of staff. And it just stinks. Like, I hate to see this week in and week out from all of these developers. And now it's hitting like one of the top. Are they being guaranteed references or any kind of benefits? No, like, they're not getting a severance at all. So it's like they work through the rest of October and then it's done. They're not getting any kind of pay after that. I don't know about references. I'm not 100% sure. Some people, that is a huge thing. I'm not just being petty to be petty, but it's like anytime, like with tech stuff, it's like someone takes it the wrong way, they can cause major chaos. So that's my only kind of like, it's like, if you're going to let somebody go, you better let them go right then, and don't just expect them to just keep doing their job. It's like, you better be ready to pull the plug and have security walk them to their desk type deal. It's just, that's the way it should be done. It's just like, it's almost a slap in the face to be like, yeah, I'm going to need you to keep working and come in and do some crunch while you're here. So that's my soapbox for this week, guys. Let's talk about the PlayStation Quickies. First up, the PS5 has sold 2 billion units in Japan this year already and is now selling twice as fast as last year. Sony's free game offer for the PlayStation 5 owners is in the US is invitation only. I also heard this, that you had to buy a PlayStation console like recently. It doesn't, go to people that have had a PlayStation for a while. Xbox's Phil Spencer actually signed a PlayStation 5 cover for someone in Japan. That's hilarious. Among Us VR is officially heading to PlayStation Virtual Reality 2. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth's main quest will take around 40 to 50 hours to finish. Gran Turismo Sport is shutting down its online services on January 31st. Housemarque is relocating to a new studio in Helsinki. And Housemarque, if you don't know who they are, they're the ones that made Returnal. They're a really, really great group of people. I love Housemarque. Horizon Forbidden West Complete Edition ships on 2 discs for the PlayStation 5. Naughty Dog's principal monetization designer for its multiplayer The Last of Us title has left the studio. Again, going back to it's probably not going to be coming out. Spider-Man 2 accessibility features detailed by PlayStation. Adidas is releasing Spider-Man 2 advanced suit and symbiote-inspired shoes. I'm sure those look pretty dope. Spider-Man 2 allows you to make web swinging a greater challenge with 10 levels of swing assistance. October 20th will be here soon, guys. I cannot wait for some Spider-Man, some Spider-Man. I am very, very excited about that. I cannot wait for it. Put a 5 in chat if you are going to be getting Spider-Man. You're going to be swinging through New York. Hey, those old Spider-Man. That's what I'm looking forward. Guys, let's get into the Patreon quick hits. The Patreon quick hits are brought to you by our wonderful patrons. You can become part of the exclusive crew by going to patreon.com/nerdcave, picking the tier that best fits you. You can also join for free right now, no charge to you, and see all the cool things that are over on Patreon. So, the Patreon quick hits are as follows. City Skylines have been delayed to spring. Remedy's Sam Lake says Max Payne 1 and 2 remasters are a big, big project. Ed Boon teases Ghostface, Mortal Kombat 1 DLC character. I hope that's Ghostface Killer from the Wu-Tang Clan, because that would be awesome. Mojang brings Minecraft Dungeons development to an end after hitting 25 million players. SAG-AFTRA and the video game producers in talks without a deal as threat of a strike looms. Portable Series S screen is now officially licensed by Xbox. A new Elder Scrolls mobile game just dropped, and it looks a lot like the Fallout Shelter game. 2K reveals WWE 2K 2022 servers are closing on January 3rd. Marvel is painfully aware that its games are failing to live up to their potential. And I think a lot of that is like the Marvel's Avengers game that came out because Spider-Man was great. But yeah, Marvel's Avengers, not good. Larian Studios is not currently working on a Baldur's Gate 3 expansion. Star Breeze says Payday 3 server launch issues are now fixed, which you can also play that on Game Pass if you want to check out some Payday 3. Epic loses another high-ranking exec as its director of publishing strategy departs. Epic Games adding age ratings for all Fortnite experiences, because they also did add the creator kind of stuff and everything, so there's a lot more things that people might happen upon that isn't necessarily appropriate for everyone. Blizzard is focusing on building our vision of a revitalized esports program as Overwatch League's future hangs in the balance. And I'm very curious how that is going to be handled with Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard. They would have an org. They would have two, actually, with Halo and Overwatch. But I think Overwatch 2 is a doomed thing. So I think that's really hurting the league. Batman Arkham Trilogy for Switch has been delayed to December 1st. With Switch 2 rumors in overdrive, Nintendo says it's still working on Switch games for 2025. Nintendo shutting down 3DS and Wii U online servers in April. Final Fantasy XIV update adds solo mode for the main quest. Activision has Call of Duty games planned all the way through 2027. Alan Wake 2 reveals newcomer Kyrian Estevez, an FBC agent played by Gianna Gavankar. Dead by Daylight Haunted by Daylight event is launching October 18th. Microsoft releasing Gold Shadow wireless controller on October 17th. BioWare is being sued by former employees for better severance pay. Silent Hill Ascension said to launch this Halloween, according to store listing. Hyenas was reportedly Sega's biggest budget game ever. Story had input from Neil Blomkamp, which I talked about that earlier. Now that Red Dead Redemption 2 on PS5 can't run at 60 frames per second, Xbox players want the same, that it can run on 60 frames per second. Diablo 4 coming to Steam on October 17th. Boom. Some crazy stuff going on there, guys. Some crazy stuff in there. BioWare being sued, I understand they're wanting more money. Total power to them. But I feel like their legal fees are going to cost them more than what they would get. So, Cody, hope you have a good rest of the night and a good weekend, man. Guys, there is the news for y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed that. We do this each and every week here at NerdCave at 7 p.m. Central Time. So keep coming back for more awesome NerdCave news. This has been Zach. Have a blessed week. Boy. All right, guys. We are done with the news. Let me know, guys, what was your favorite topic tonight? You're welcome, Tim. Hope you're doing well, buddy. How does the wife feel now that you've hit your weight? I had to brag on Tim, y'all. Tim lost like 30 pounds in the last like month or two. Like he's down to like 190, looking shredded to death. He could be Shredder from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, y'all. Ups and downs. I got you, bro, because she's pregnant. Well, I'm sure, you know, the cry emoji. But yeah. Man, that was a fast show, y'all. That was a fast show. I know, like, not having two people. Last week we kind of soapboxed it a little bit about things, but yeah, that's impressive. You ready to take down Goku? Yeah, he's ready to take down Goku. 100%. Which Tim's never watched Dragon Ball Z. I'm very like very disappointed, Tim. Very disappointed. Just gonna say. I was talking about that earlier today. But yeah, so I'm trying to think of this is a spider doing push-ups on a mirror. I have heard of Goku well, I'm glad you heard of Goku. Like, that's one thing, but like, yeah, I've been watching Team 4-Star, been really enjoying that. Who is this deprived child? Was he abused as a child? Was he abused in his child? I don't know, but I feel like we need to do like a watch along now of Dragon Ball Z, which I'm all down for some Dragon Ball Z. You watch VeggieTales? I watch VeggieTales as well, man. But I still watch DBZ. DBZ Marathon would be awesome. Boom. Guys, I just turned on the membership where you can join Patreon. Again, like, you won't get everything with this new membership. You'll get like the free posts over on Patreon, but you can at least join for free now. So if you want to go over there and join, but yeah, I think doing a DBZ marathon, I definitely want to. I watched it at Nana's 100%. Like, I couldn't watch Dragon Ball Z at my parents' house. I did when they were gone. I had the orange boxes, DVDs, and everything. But Nana would like record. My grandmother would record Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball on VHS tapes every day. And then I would go on the weekends to her house and I would watch what she had recorded that week. I lived in the dorm floor in college of VeggieTale Guys' son. Oh, wow. One time we wrestled and I knocked him out. Why are you beating up the VeggieTale Guy's son? But yeah, now you can join for free over on Patreon. So y'all should go do that if you're not a member of Patreon, our Patreon and everything. You can do it for free now. And if you want to support, you can also do that as well. But yeah, I think doing like some watch-alongs, like even if it's just me or something. Well, like I know we got Derek. I'm not saying Derek can't be a part of it, but I do want to play. I do want to watch the what is that? One Piece. I do want to watch One Piece, the live action, not the my God, that 1,000 episode thing. You know what I mean? So, also, who has finished Ahsoka? Who has finished Ahsoka? Because we finished it yesterday, and that was good. Like, I was really impressed with Ahsoka. Dan, you have? What did you think? Like, I feel like Ahsoka did a good job of really telling a story from beginning to end without a ton of fluff. And I wouldn't say there was really any fluff in it. Like, I felt like it did a good job of keeping momentum throughout it, bringing in characters that are huge for the Star Wars universe, giving enough excitement for things to go for the next season. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed what it was. I thought it was good, and that teaser at the end, fire. Yeah, I know. I really hate that Ray Stevens, which is the actor for Balin, passed away, because like that it stinks, because like now it's like, what do you do with that character? Do you recast? Do you do something in the show to explain like why it looks different, that sort of deal? I'm not 100% sure how you would do it. I don't 100% know. Yeah, I'm very curious to see where it goes. I think it is going to be really cool. And the character development for everybody, I thought, was really interesting and strong. And I think that's something that the other shows have struggled with, because they did a lot of character development and then they had to keep the show going because it was so popular. And you get season 3 of Mando, which felt nothing like season 1 or 2, or you get Boba Fett, where they change a lot of the character. They strip it down to where it's not even recognizable to the character before, and it's just boring. And then you have 2 episodes of The Mandalorian within the middle of that to kind of strengthen the whole season. So yeah, it really stinks. They might try to use AI to recreate him like with Luke. Yeah, I think that really depends on his family and if they okay that. It's a little bit more challenging with someone that is like recently deceased like that. So I'm not sure. The dude that played Sabretooth, Yeah, Liv Schreiber. Yeah, that dude. I'll show y'all this. Someone took this and like I don't know why it's like all weird shaping here, but like he would be a good. He's as close to, like, he's not as aged, you know, on the forehead and everything, but he's pretty close. I don't know. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I didn't see your comment there, Nate, but yeah, that's 100% it. It is close. It could be, you know, something to see, you know, but it all really depends on how they want to go about it. Like, because if they did get him, you wouldn't have to do a lot of like CGI or anything. You wouldn't have to really do any if you didn't want to, but they could go even a step further. But it's like, at that point, why use him if you're just going to CGI his face? So I don't know. It's I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with the character and everything. So I don't know. The trick would be sounding like Ray and acting like Ray did. Yeah. I don't know how they're going to do it. I hope they don't abandon that storyline because it is really, really interesting. And I hope that we do get an heir to the empire kind of thing going on elsewhere. So, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with the next season. But yeah, like, this is the first time that I have felt in a while that the Star Wars show was good. And I know a lot of people like Andor. Andor wasn't, like, visually, Andor was really cool, but it was too slow for me until halfway through the season. Obi-Wan had its cool moments, but I feel like it wasn't super strong. And then Boba Fett and Mando were not as great as I wanted them to be. Too weak, too many like weird episodes where it just kind of felt like they were just all over the place. Yeah, exactly. The big statue at the end was super, super cool. The reveal of all of that. Question: what are the best and easiest games on Xbox to stream? So, what do you mean easiest? Like, they're not going to be difficult to play? Yeah, exactly. They messed up who Boba Fett was. 100%. 100%. If you're looking for something to play with multiple people, Party Animals is really fun. We played that on community game night. Power Wash Simulator. That's a lot of fun. It's easy to play. You're literally just power washing. But yeah, Party Animals is a blast, but you are going to have the people to play with and everything. I'm looking. Just trying to think of just a campaign game. Power Wash is a campaign game. I'm looking down the list. Maybe Lego Star Wars. Overcooked is fun, but it can be a little bit difficult. Trying to think of like accessible to play. Power Wash is relaxing. Dan had the new update graphics. What? Yeah, this one's like a new Lego Star Wars. It goes all the way through, but it's pretty good. I feel like these are all okay. That's all the family friendly. Hold on. Let's see all games. Some of these games I haven't played yet, so I can't like 100% say on some of these. Just trying to find like things that you can get in and play and not have to worry about difficulty as well. For Power Wash Simulator, he shared it. Oh, I didn't see that. I'm just scrolling down trying to see right now. All the Doom games, so those are a little bit more tricky. Disney Dreamlight Valley. If you like escape rooms, there's Escape Academy, which is it was him Power. Okay, I did see that. That's right. But Escape Academy is like escape rooms, but in a video game form. Fable is really good. Like they've got all 3 Fable games. They're not too challenging, in my opinion. Firewatch is a good story-based game. It doesn't really take any skill to play that one. Gears does take some skill. Goat Simulator. Play that one. Just kind of going down. Got all the Halo games. Hi-Fi Rush might be something you want to check out as well. No, Zelda is a Nintendo game, so it won't be on Xbox. Yeah, I'm just going down, scrolling down Game Pass to see. My Friend Peppa Pig. Hi-Fi Rush might be something more up your speed for sure. New Super Lucky's Tale is another one. So yeah, there's a few to like get started and everything. Yeah, I'm just trying to see, like, I'm close to the end, but yeah, I would go with those first and just see what kind of hits your fancy, and then go from there. Because there are a lot of games, but it's like how much time you want to put into like trying to be good at it and everything. Tunic might be also another good one. It's like a kind of cutesy platformer game. Yeah, I think those are good to like start with. They do have the Telltale Walking Dead games. Those are really good. How do you like playing on iPhone with your phone controller? I like the Backbone controller. It's easy to play with. I don't have it on the desk with me right now, but I can give you a link real quick. But yeah, it's nice that way. I can just play anywhere. I can be on the couch, I can be on the toilet and literally play the whole entire time. So yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Gonna give you a link for the Xbox one if you want to check it out. There you go. It's like $99. That's the... I sent you the Xbox one. They do have a PlayStation one as well, but you can check that one out. How's it going, Reclining Gamer? Going pretty well here. We just finished up our show that we do on Thursdays, going through the news and everything, just kind of chilling for a few minutes. You're welcome, Tim. Glad I can help, buddy. How's it going for you, man? But yeah, yeah, I like the Backbone. The buttons are good. The triggers are good. And it's just easy to play with. Been lurking and listening. Okay. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for us tonight. Not all is well on this end. Well, awesome, man. I'm glad. But I've got to get ready for a wedding that I'm doing this weekend. So I got to get some stuff put together and everything. And so I'm not doing it all at the last minute. But guys, I hope y'all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Y'all enjoy some games, enjoy some time with some family, and I will talk to you all on Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Bye, guys.